Likewise, of hymns, I am Brihatsāman, of meters, I am gāyatri, of months, I am mārgashirsha, and of seasons, I am the flower bearer, spring. Sri Krishna says that of some hymns that can be sung, Brihatsāman is his vibhuti. The mantras of Samaveda are called some hymns that can be sung. They can be chanted by singing. Sri Krishna says that out of these, he is Brihatsāman. Sri Krishna had already said earlier in the 22nd verse of the 10th chapter of the Gita that Vedanam Samaveda Asmi. Of the Vedas, I am Samaveda. Now Sri Krishna is going even one step further than this by saying that in his Samaveda, Brihatsāman is his vibhuti. Brihatsāman is the sun by the name of Brihat. It is sung in a very special way. It is a mantra. In particular, the special thing about Brihatsāman is that the Supreme Soul is worshipped in the form of Indra. This is Brihatsāman. Sri Krishna says that of Chand, meters, gāyatri is his vibhuti. A Chand has two meanings. The first meaning is meter, and the second is that whose leaves are the Vedas. Chandavasi yasya pranami. We should understand it in both these meanings. The meaning of Gayatri is Nayantam Trayate iti Gayatri, that which protects one who sings it. Gayatri is a Mahamantra, a great mantra. Gayatri protects one who sings it. Gayatri is that which protects one who performs penances of it. In the Narayan Upanishad, it is said that Gayatri Gandasam Mate iti. Gayatri is the mother of Chand, meters. It is also said that Vedmata Gayatri is the mother of the Vedas. In the Devi Bhagavat, it is said that while speaking about the greatness of the Gayatri, that Sarva Veda Sarabhuta Gayatrastu Samachana Brahmadayo Visandhayam Tam Dhyapyanti Japanticha. Performing penances of the Gayatri is like distilling all the Vedas. When day and night meet, Brahma and the gods perform meditation and chanting of the Gayatri. Gayatri is the essence of the Vedas. There are 3 sandhyas when day and night meet in a day. Prata Sandhya, the end of the night and the beginning of the day. Madhyana Sandhya, noon. And Sayam Sandhya, the end of the day and the beginning of the night. In today's times, very few people can do Madhyana Sandhya, noon planting. But Prata Sandhya, the end of the night and the beginning of the day, and Sayam Sandhya, the end of the day and beginning of the night, should be performed. Sandhya is basically gasp, where day and night meet. At Prata Sandhya, the end of the night and the beginning of the day, and Sayam Sandhya, the end of the day and the beginning of the night, one should meditate on the Gayatri, and one should chant Gayatri. Brahma and the gods all do this, as it is said in the Devi Bhagavad. We have a lot of Smriti scriptures, such as the Vashishta Smriti, Manu Smriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, and in the same way we have the Shanka Smriti. There is a rishi by the name of Shanka, and he wrote this Smriti. It is clearly written in the scripture called the Shanka Smriti that Arishta Loka Maknoti Amutyat Kamo Mipsitam Gayatri Veda Janani Gayatri Papanashani Gayatra Paranam Nasti Divichan Paranam Hastatran Pada Devi Padam Narakaran Nabe. For performing penances of the Gayatri, the person attains the world of a king, and all the desires in his mind become fulfilled. Gayatri is the mother of all Vedas and destroys all sins. There is no other means more purifying for human beings and more destroying of sins for human beings in this world and heaven than Gayatri. To those who have fallen in hell in form of the ocean, Gayatri gives the support of her hands and saves them. A very nice thing has been said here. The mother herself comes to save her child. There was a great saint by the name of Vidyanatha Swami. He was very sad in life, and he had endless sorrows. His sorrows were such that our sorrows are nothing compared to them. Such were his sorrows. He was a householder living a material life. He went to a great saint and asked him how to remove his sorrows. The great saint preached the gāyatri mantra to him and told him, "Son, perform penances and understand prayers with certain rules of the gāyatri mantra." He began the understand of the gāyatri mantra. He then performed 22 Brihatsāman, chanted the mantra 125,000 times, one after the other of the gāyatri mantra. A Brihatsāman, chanting of the mantra this many times, is an advanced type of anustan, prayers with certain rules of the gāyatri mantra. He performed 24 Brihatsāman of the gāyatri mantra. But what happened through this was that all the difficulties he had went away in other ways. He became completely alone and became disenchanted with the material world. He was initiated into sannyas, renunciation, and while he was going, it is described that he was chanting the gāyatri mantra, and the goddess Mother Gayatri came and stood in front of him and said, "Son, ask for a boon. What would you like?" He said, "Mother, now you have come, but you are too late. When I needed it, I was so sad in the material world, and I needed wealth and so many other things, but that time you did not come. Now you are saying that I should ask, and you will give me whatever I ask for. I have left the material world, and I have given up everything. I have taken an initiation into sannyas. I do not want anything now. I cannot even keep anything. And you are asking me what I want. What if you had come when I needed your help? All of this has gone to waste." Mother Gayatri said, "Son, all of this has not gone to waste. Just look behind you and see." When Vidyaranya Swami looked behind, he saw 24 mountains burning down. He had performed 24 Brihatsāman and saw 24 mountains burning down. The spiritual meaning of this was that the heat of sin that had been accumulated through his births were destroyed one after the other because of the penances of the Gayatri, and he had reached this state of bliss and complete liberation. He fell at the feet of Mother Gayatri and said, "Mother, I do not want anything." This is what happens when one performs penances of Gayatri. It destroys all of one's sins. Often people ask me which mantra I perform penances of it, and because they asked me, I said the Gayatri mantra. I received the Chandni sacred bread when I was very young at the age of 6, and I have been chanting Gayatri mantra since then. My grandmother would give me a lot of encouragement that, "Son, perform jap of the Gayatri mantra, son, perform jap of the Gayatri mantra, and Brihatsāman, 12-symboled mantra." The mantra protects the person. The Gayatri mantra is very important and great. It is said in the Samvrata Smriti that Gastatu pranasti shodhanam papa karmanam mahavyarati samyuktam pranave nash sanchape. For purifying sinful karmas, there is nothing better than Gayatri. Gayatri should be chanted with the 3 great syllables of Bhur-Bhuva-Swaha and the Omkar. Look how many different scriptures say this. The Samvrata Smriti shows us how we should perform jap of the Gayatri mantra. If you ask the majority of people, then they will say that they know the Gayatri mantra, and it is true that they know the Gayatri mantra. You ask them what the Gayatri mantra is, and they say, "Om Bhur-Bhuva Swaha, Om Tatsavituvarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat." When we say Om Bhur-Bhuva Swaha, it is not really a part of the Gayatri mantra. The Gayatri mantra is just this part. Tatsavituvarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Only this is the Gayatri. If I were to say it in the way of the chant, then the Gayatri is such a chant where there are 24 letters and 3 breaks in them. Grammatically, this is the chant of the Gayatri. It is the chant of 24 letters and 3 steps. Tatsavituvarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. These are the 3 steps. There are now many different Gayatris in both our scriptures, and it has also become prevalent. There is a Gayatri of all gods, there is a Gayatri mantra for Ganesh, there is a Gayatri mantra for Shivji, there is also a Gayatri mantra for Lord Vishnu. Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tano Vishnu Prachodayat. There is also a Gayatri for the goddess Lakshmi. Mahalakshmi cha vidmahe, Vishnu patni cha dhimahi, Tano Lakshmi prachodayat. If you count the letters in each of these gāyatri mantras, then you will see that there are 24 letters in all of them. The root gāyatri is Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. You will see that there are 24 letters in the root gāyatri mantra. This is the gāyatri mantra, but the Samvata Smriti says that, and this is said in other scriptures as well, that gāyatri should be chanted with the three Mahavayutri great syllables of Bhur Bhuva Svaha and the Omkar. They are described in the Taittiriya Upanishad. That is why Om Bhur Bhuva Svaha precedes the gāyatri mantra. Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. In the scripture by the name of Prabhyogi Yajnavalkya, it is said that Nasti Gangasaman Titam Nandara Keshavat Para Yayastatru Param Chapyam Nabhutam Nabhavishyati. There is no shrine like Ganga. There is no god like Keshav, Narayan. There is no chanting of a mantra like Gayatri, neither in the present nor the future. When the rishis say something, then it is the completely final verdict to break all doubt that there has never been anyone like this, and that there never will be. The chanting of the Gayatri mantra is the peak of all chap. Whenever I say this during my discourses, then some people come and ask me at the end of the discourse whether women can chant the Gayatri mantra or not. When can certainly chant the Gayatri mantra? Women can certainly chant the Gayatri mantra. A person who has faith in the Vedas and a person who has faith in Indian culture can certainly perform chant of the Gayatri mantra. Many great saints have achieved success by performing chant of the Gayatri mantra. Each and every Varna type of person of society has been given the freedom to perform chant. It is necessary that one should have love towards the Vedas and one should have adoration towards Indian culture. If a person chants Gayatri mantra just because of what the Gayatri mantra gives and performs penances of the Gayatri mantra to take things, then the person is just a trader and a merchant. This person has no right to the Gayatri mantra. But a person who has feelings towards Mother Gayatri and who will serve Mother Gayatri and knows that if Mother Gayatri will stroke this person's hair with love, with blessing, then this person will take it, then this person has the right to perform jap of the Gayatri mantra. If Mother Gayatri strokes the person's hair to give the person blessings, then the person cannot say no, and one cannot allow Mother Gayatri to stroke their hair. In the same way, if one is feeling towards Mother Gayatri like a mother, then they can perform penances of Mother Gayatri, and they will accept any blessings that Mother Gayatri will give them with love. That is why Sri Krishna says that of Chand, he is Gayatri. Sri Krishna then says that of months, mārgashirsha, between November and December, is his vibhuti, divine manifestation. During the time of Mahabharata, time is counted from the month of mārgashirsha, between November and December. In even more ancient times than that, the calendar began from the month of Chaitra, between March and April. We still celebrate the month of Chaitra as the New Year, with the holiday on the first day of the month, Gudi Padwa. The cycle of time keeps changing according to the motion of earth. There are many days like this, such as Uttarayan, when the sun travels towards the north on the celestial sphere. You may have seen that when you were young, when it was the 14th of January, then it was Uttarayan, when the sun travels towards the north on the celestial sphere. But then after 1 or 2 years, Uttarayan comes on the 15th of January. This shifting keeps taking place. Around 100 years ago, Uttarayan was celebrated on the 13th of January. It is Makar Sankrati, which is when the sun makes the transition into Capricorn on its celestial path. It is now on the 14th of January, and in 5 to 10 years' time, in the future it will be on the 16th of January. What I mean to say is that their calculations of time keeps changing. In the same way, there are many different ways to count the year. During the time of the Mahabharata, the year began from the month of Mārgashirsha. Now it begins with Kartika, October to November. I read an article somewhere written by a very knowledgeable person. He said that in 100 or 200 years such a time will come when the new year will be counted from the month of Asar, September to October. If we are using the system we have at the moment, the new year will begin in a month of Asar, September to October. These adjustments are always happening. This also happens with time. You may have seen around 10 to 11 years ago that they stopped the clock for 4 seconds or so. They had to make a 4-second adjustment before going forward. Sri Krishna says that of the months, Mārgashirsha, between November and December, is his Vibhuti. I wrote earlier that during the time of the Mahabharata, the year began from the month of Mārgashirsha. This discipline of beginning the year in the month of Mārgashirsha is shown in the 106th and 109th chapters of the Mahabharata. Now we regard the months of Shravan, July to August, and Mārgashirsha as very pure. This is very necessary. It is said in the Valmiki Ramayana that vows and penances made in the month of Mārgashirsha between November and December have a special fruit. There are also other reasons why Sri Krishna says that the month of Mārgashirsha is his Vibhuti. First of all, in Sri Krishna's Bal Leela, childhood plays, Brihatsāman Samskar took place on Ekadas, the holy 11th day, in the month of Mārgashirsha, between November and December. The Lord was taken out of the house for the first time on Ekadas, in the month of Mārgashirsha. Then when Sri Krishna got older, then he preached the Gita on the day of Ekadas. Even today we celebrate this day in the month of Mārgashirsha as Gita Jayanti, the anniversary of the day when the Gita was said. If we die to look at it in this way, then the Mahabharata battle began on the day of Ekadas, in the month of Mārgashirsha. Sri Krishna preached the Gita on the first day of the Mahabharata battle. Therefore, those who have an interest in chronology will note that the Mahabharata battle began on the day of Ekadas, and the Gita was spoken on the same day, and that is why we celebrate Gita Jayanti on this day. Sri Ramchandraji married Sitaji on Pancham, the 5th day of the month of Mārgashirsha. Guruji was also born on the same day on Pancham, in the month of Mārgashirsha, when Sri Ramchandraji and Sitaji got married. Many things happen in the month of Mārgashirsha. According to time and date, I was also born on the same day of Pancham, the month of Mārgashirsha, when Sri Ramchandraji and Sitaji got married. I said during the discourses of the Ramayana, and I will write it now, that on the day of Pancham, the month of Mārgashirsha, I got 4 or 5 cars because it was Pancham. If I was to go even further, then I would say that from the perspective of society, new food comes in the month of Mārgashirsha. It is written in the Gomagandha, the path of rituals, scriptures, that Mārgashirsha is the month when we offer new food as oblations in front of the Supreme Soul. Spring is the season for rain, and because it is the season of rain, it is the season of farmers. The fortnight of Chatter brings the monsoon season, and because it is the monsoon season, it is the season of farmers. After the monsoon season finishes, then in the month of Mārgashirsha, farmers will bring back sacks of food, and it will be a new beginning. Sri Krishna then says that all seasons, the flower bearer spring is his Vibhuti. We do not need to give any introduction to the season of spring. It is just there. Peacocks begin dancing and cuckoos begin singing. The spring season is like this. Sri Krishna says that the season of spring is his Vibhuti. In spring it is not endlessly hot and not endlessly cold. This is the speciality of the season of spring. In the season of spring, love begins to manifest. Those who have love towards the Supreme Soul indulge very much in spring. If I were to describe the circumstances of ancient times in the language of today's time, then spring is Valentine's season. If you read the work of Kalidas, then you will see how beautifully he described the month of spring. If you read or see any scriptures, literature, poems, plays, or anything else in Sanskrit, then you will see that they have praised this spring season a lot. During the spring season, the male lover remembers the female lover, and the female lover remembers the male lover. If we take these worldly things into a spiritual meaning, And during the spring season, the individual soul should remember the Supreme Soul, because ultimately the Supreme Soul is the lover and the place of the individual soul. God says that the spring season is his vibhuti, when the Supreme Soul remembers the individual soul, and also the individual soul remembers the Supreme Soul. That is why Sri Krishna says that on seasons, the flower-bearer spring is his divine manifestation.